Okay. Well, I want to welcome you all here today. I'm Bob Barchi. I'm president of Rutgers University. And it's a delight to have our new governor, Governor Murphy, here with us today with his team, and our mayor, Jim Cahill, and representatives from labor and from business and from tech from around the state to talk about what I think is one of the most important potential projects that we have seen here in New Jersey. And that's the development of the innovation economy, and more specifically here, the innovation technology hub that might be built right here in New Brunswick. You know, as an educator and as a scientist myself, and now as a university administrator, I'm certainly committed to producing the workforce for the future, but we're also deeply committed to producing the ideas for the future. And it's that idea economy, that technology, that new innovation that needs to get out from the university to the surrounding community. We've just had a great opportunity to hear from folks around the table about their ideas, directions we might go. We've heard from the governor about things that he might suggest. We've heard from legislators and from his cabinet. And let me just say this. I've been here now, and this is ending my 6th year, and we did a big strategic plan for Rutgers 5 years ago, recognizing that Rutgers does more research than all the other higher educational institutions in the state combined. And we recognized that research and innovation was core to what we did. In our plan was a technology hub, was a tech transfer center. You'll remember that, Chris. We tried very hard to get this working and get it moving, and it was a slow slog. Today, what I see is bringing together the focus of the city, the focus of the university, the surrounding community. You can put all those chemicals together, but in order to get that to react, you need a catalyst. And in this case, the catalyst is sitting right here to my left, and that's our new mayor, our new governor, Phil Murphy, who is the catalyst to make this happen. And now it's the frisson, all the bubbles coming up. And I think there's something going to happen here. So I'm delighted to be part of this, and I'm going to turn it over to our governor and let him take it from there. Governor?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President, for hosting us so graciously in those very good words. They mean a lot. Mayor, we'll hear from you in a moment. It means a lot that we've got the group that we have around this table. As President Barchi said, we just had a very good discussion. And I think if we said not another word, it's who's at this table that is quite striking for us. Not only Rutgers and the president, chancellor, many of the senior deans here, which means a lot, members of faculty, big political support explicitly led by the Speaker of the General Assembly, Craig Coughlin, to my left, the Mayor, Jim Cahill, and other leaders, brothers and sisters in labor, healthcare providers, private sector, research-intensive players, industry groups that represent those private sectors, members of our cabinet, members of our senior team. That's a group that gives you those 1 + 1 = 3 opportunities that you don't get terribly often. He's got to go, so I want to do a quick timeout of my remarks and just ask the Speaker if, before he leaves, if he could say a couple of quick words. And again, great having you with us, Craig.
Thank you, Governor, and thank you for the courtesy. I apologize to everyone for having to get on to the next things. But I did want to just take the opportunity to thank everyone for coming out today and to tell everyone how excited I am about, first, the hub, first and foremost. I think it's going to be a wonderful economic driver in the continued redevelopment of New Brunswick, who just has a tremendous history of reinventing itself and of moving forward under the leadership of Chris and Mayor Cahill. And in a grander sense, to do the things that we envisioned when the Assembly, chaired by Assemblyman Zwicker, where I'm happy is here today, envisioned when we instituted a new Science, Innovation, and Technology Committee. There were some great ideas for big things to happen in the state of New Jersey, and I'm proud that I was able to be here, appreciate the great thoughts, and look forward to coming up with a legislative scheme that augments the kind of vision that we're going to get from the governor and from this table as we move forward to do something that I think is going to be very exciting for the state of New Jersey and has the potential to do something special, not for in the short term, but in a very long term and for generations to come. So thank everybody for coming out. Thank you for letting me be a part of it. And Governor, thank you for the courtesy.
Always a pleasure. So a couple of quick further words. Thanks for coming. Before I turn it over to Mayor Cahill, this is one of these, I mentioned one of these 1 + 1 = 3 opportunities. And the speaker mentioned Chris Palladino in particular. I want to give him a shout out from DevCo. And in our cabinet, Tim Sullivan, who's the executive director of the Economic Development Authority. They're probably going to be the ones in the foxhole the most often, turning this thing from today into the reality, along with our colleagues from Rutgers. And this is not this is not a ribbon cutting ceremony. This is the first step in a long journey that will take a long time, but it is a journey that will be worth it. It is one of those 1 + 1 = 3 opportunities. We campaigned and we're governing now on this notion of a stronger, fairer New Jersey that works for everybody. On the stronger side is growing the darn economy. And we think the two big economies that have the most upside are the infrastructure economy, and there's lots of infrastructure that goes with this, and the innovation economy, basically reclaiming our rightful space. Bob mentioned that Rutgers' research renown is unparalleled. We think this is an opportunity to take it to yet another level. It's an opportunity in the private sector, not just to attract the big players like Johnson & Johnson represented here today, but also to turn that needle aggressively in the startup community. You've heard me say many times we have 15 incubators in New Jersey. New York has 179. That balance does not make sense. It doesn't happen by accident. Things like this innovation hub will go right at the heart of moving that needle aggressively. We don't get our rightful fair share of federal dollars. The give-get relationship in New Jersey, regardless of which benchmark or dimension you look at it through, is not what it needs to be or should be. This is a major step, we think, by putting all of these interests together in one very significant, large-scale, one location, one locus, helps us enormously in that respect. I said large scale. I'll defer to Chris. I think this is somewhere in our aspirations, 2 to 4 million square feet. This is a very significant opportunity and hub. This is not something that is, we're not playing at the edges here. And again, I cannot thank Rutgers enough, led by the president, the mayor, all of the political support in Middlesex County, our brothers and sisters in labor, the providers in healthcare, the private sector, companies big and small. With that, I want to turn it over to one of our hosts today, Mayor Jim Cahill. Thank you so much, Mayor, for having us today.
You know, Governor, your vision is spot on. And given the location of the city's train station in the midst of the Hub Innovation and Technology District, I think it's appropriate for me to say that New Brunswick is fully on board. The city and its redevelopment partner, DevCo, have primed and earmarked a 12-acre redevelopment area in the heart of downtown New Brunswick for job-creating development as a center for innovation for healthcare, biosciences, technology, AI, big data, and analytics. This offers the state of New Jersey an unparalleled opportunity for development. With the potential of more than 4 million square feet of commercial research, laboratory, and retail space in a transit-oriented, walkable city that is home to major corporate headquarters, leading healthcare and academic institutions, a bustling downtown, vibrant arts and entertainment, excellent restaurants, and first-class conference hotels, the hub aligns perfectly with Governor Murphy's vision. The first phase of development includes a 4-acre site that is shovel-ready. The redevelopment plan is already in place and allows for the immediate development of over 2 million square feet and accommodates the direct pedestrian access to the train station platform. With direct connections to major markets along the Northeast Corridor rail line, the hub offers access to a talent pool of science, technology, engineering, and mathematical workers twice the size of any labor market in the nation. And New Jersey's share of employment is higher than the national average in telecommunications and computer system design, and boasts the largest concentration of scientists and engineers per square mile than anywhere else in the world. Clearly, there is good reason New Brunswick is called the Hub City. With our partnerships with the state, Rutgers, J&J, our healthcare industry, Middlesex County, and DevCo, we have demonstrated for over 3 decades we have the dedication, the capability, and the experience to make this happen. Simply stated, the Hub Innovation and Technology District makes sense and is an idea whose time has come. We are all familiar with the number one rule in real estate: location, location, location. With that checklist item out of the way, Governor, with your vision and your efforts, and with the expertise, creativity, and potential partnership of the outstanding individuals and organizations joined here today, the Hub makes enormous strides towards a fairer and stronger economy for New Jersey. Thank you, Governor.
Thank you, Mayor, and again, thank you for hosting us so graciously today, and this is huge potential for this county and this community, so thank you. Barry Ostrowski, I wonder if you could say a few words. President and CEO of RWJ Barnabas, honored to have you with us.
Thank you, Governor, and thank you for your leadership and vision, and thank you, Bob, and others for hosting this. Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital, a prominent institution in our system, has been an anchor institution in New Brunswick for more than 100 years. Recently, the mission of our organization has been modified. It's not simply to provide clinical services to the community, but to do very much more. We have to be a source of economic development for the entire region. We have to ensure that even the most vulnerable members of our community receive support fighting social determinants as well as receiving clinical care. Our partnership with Rutgers, which is an outstanding institution in my alma mater, I might add, will allow us to attract the scientists and researchers that we need in order, as the governor has said, to expand our footprint in important healthcare research. So this couldn't be more timely. I don't think there's an industry, frankly, in our nation more in need of innovation, more in need of outstanding new ideas to ensure that those that we serve receive the kind of support in daily lives or in illness that they need. So I thank you again, Governor, for your leadership. We're all in. We're a partner, and we look forward to participating. Thank you.
Thank you, Barry, and thank you for all that you do. I think with that, we'll throw it open to a couple of questions. Danny, is that okay? Please.
Governor, could you give us sort of the overview of the innovation hub? Who's going to be there? What are they going to be doing? And when is this going to happen?
All good questions. It will evolve over the course of a couple of years. The working group on this goes from pre-planning to planning, I think, tomorrow. I'll defer to either Chris or Tim to give a quick comment on some of the specifics. Chris, you want to jump in?
Corporate academic. The discoveries and the innovations that are going to fuel new companies, new innovations that are going to create lots of jobs, not just for those companies, but lots of construction jobs to build the facility and also jobs to operate the facility. So significant job creation opportunity here.
You know, we looked, I mentioned this in passing. We have 15 incubators. Our friends in New York have 179. This is one way directly to get at startups. Venture capital in New Jersey over the past 5 years, down 40%. Rest of the country up 2 times. So it's human talent, it's capital, it's an entrepreneurial culture. And by the way, that's not at odds with the interests of the big healthcare providers, the big private sector players. This is truly one of those 1 + 1 = 3 opportunities, particularly when you throw in the middle of that one of the great research universities in our country. So there's lots of job creation for big and small and lots of research potential across the board. Please. Charlie, I have a son named Charlie, so you're automatically in the Hall of Fame.
Can you tell me how much of the site is still contaminated and who's doing it for that?
I cannot, but Chris or Jim probably can. Chris?
Where it's an ongoing process. It's a relatively actually modest component of the site. It goes back to a oil spill off-site, probably in the early part of the 1980s. And there's a plan in place. There'll be a plan filed by the LSRPs with DEP to complete the collection and long-term monitoring. It's huge.
There's 4 acres that's not contaminated?
Of the 4 acres, I would actually think probably about 3.5 of it actually is not contaminated. The This is the first four that Jim referred to.
And who's looking for that?
At the moment, the county of Middlesex. Ma'am?
So how much of this is new? Is all of the initiatives new? And what percentage will involve, in terms of all the people involved, women?
Women?
On the first part, I think Bob mentioned this, that the idea is not a new one. You had it 5 years ago. And it's an idea that you've seen around the country. But there needs to be a will to pull it together, because the interests are quite disparate, and you need to be able to pull a lot of different interests and perspectives together. As it relates to how many women are involved, I hope lots. If we have anything to do with it, we have a majority women cabinet, which I'm very proud of. Rutgers has across its ranks a huge amount of senior women. I hope this is a hotbed for the next generation, and disproportionately so for women. Please.
Some criticism that your campaign promises and your budget don't match up. You have pledged tax relief for low-income seniors and disabled, but your budget perpetuates a 50% cut to rebates. So what are you saying now to those taxpayers?
I would say, first of all, we kicked off our budget last week with our speech, and this is going to be ultimately baked over the course of the next couple of months. I would say, with respect, great respect, there's never been a budget that provides more relief to the middle class and to the dreams of those who aspire to be in the middle class than this budget, whether it's investment in infrastructure, education, including pre-K, community college, and higher education, whether it is in any, in my humble opinion, through any number of measures. This budget delivers overwhelmingly on the promises that we made in the campaign. Someone said, what was the biggest surprise in our budget? And that is, there were very few surprises. In the back. Okay, one more, sir.
Yes. Could you say, Governor, how much is this going to cost and who's going to pay for it?
I don't think you can say how much this will cost yet. It's too early to tell. And the good news is, when you look around the table at the interests that are represented here today, the folks who end up, quote unquote, paying for this will be a broad range of folks. And I hope a big payer of this is a very significant support over time from the United States federal government.
Stopped and stuck, and now the Secretary of Transportation is accusing local officials of bullying her. Is this going
In New Jersey?
how is this going to get solved?
I think, Michael, it will get solved. And by the way, how frustrating is it for commuters? Look at the Portal Bridge reality a couple of days ago. Somebody said to me recently, this tunnel's going to get built. That's not a question. The question is it going to get built with forethought and planning, or is it going to get built because the roof falls in on us? I hope certainly that it's the former. Michael, I continue to be optimistic on this. It has broad, and when I say broad, I think unanimous bipartisan, I think we're going to end here, by the way, I'm being told, unanimous bipartisan support across delegations, not just in New Jersey, which is the one I know best, but beyond. It is viewed to be not just a Northeast corridor imperative, but a national economic, a national security imperative. The president himself is on record over a long period of time of supporting this. I cannot thank enough, in particular, Congressman Rodney Frelinghuysen for his leadership as the chairman of the House Appropriations Committee. So my view is the facts are so overwhelming in terms of the need for this that ultimately, and the common ground is so significant across parties, which, as you know, you don't get a whole lot terribly often these days, that I believe cooler heads will prevail and we'll ultimately get the funding that we need. I want to conclude by thanking President Barchi and his extraordinary team. Thank you, Mr. President. Mayor, thank you for being such a gracious host as well. And to everybody from all parts of this county and the state who came out today. Thank you all. Really good, man. What a day.